Hey there, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Monique Martinez on this Thursday edition of FSU Weather. Happy Friday Eve. We've had another warm day today in Tallahassee. This week we've had a roller coaster of emotions, starting relatively cold, and we're back above average with temperatures in the lower 80s. Sunny days ahead until about Saturday, when that storm will start to roll into the Big Bend. But for now, we are sitting pretty warm. Temperatures in the lower 80s, 82 in Monticello and 79 in Thomasville. So again, another warm day, but we will see that change as the days progress. Now, we do have some activity on our satellite and radar. We have these prescribed burns that have popped up over the Big Bend. So I'm sure you noticed this morning when you walked outside, we had some dense low-level fog, and that is thanks to that moisture in the air in that fog. Fog and smoke actually equals smog. That's a new term for you guys, but we'll talk about that more today in the show. We'll also talk about the warm weather in Tallahassee. All that and more on FSU Weather.
Thank you, Unique. I'm student meteorologist Spencer Blum.
And I'm Autumn Dancy.
And there's quite a lot going on tonight. So as I'm sure everybody here in Tallahassee has noticed, earlier this week was pretty cold, but later on in this week, kind of today and tomorrow and the next few days, it's getting pretty warm, Autumn. I know you and I are both from southern Florida. We like those warm temperatures.
Absolutely, and it's been pretty warm and clear out today, which is a big difference from what we've been seeing for the past few weeks. It has gone up and down, hot and cold and rainy, and it feels good to have some stable, calm weather today.
Definitely. So unfortunately, there are some places in the country, though, which aren't seeing as beautiful conditions as we are. So unfortunately, there are some areas, particularly around Oklahoma and Texas, which we are going to talk about a little bit more later, just a little sneak peek for you. But we do have some active severe thunderstorm warnings going on. So those areas, you are experiencing, obviously, some much more significant showers. And places out west are actually seeing, like Oregon, a heck of a lot of snow. What do you think about that?
It's wild to see snow right now, especially in comparison to how hot it is over here. And over the country, the weather is so different in so many different spots. And it's good that we're talking about the thunderstorms going on near Oklahoma and Texas, because we'll be talking about how you can stay safe here in Florida during thunderstorms.
Definitely. And even back out west, so actually I saw earlier today the temperatures, so the 30-year average, where we take essentially the average of the temperatures over the last 30 years. That's kind of what we use as a climatological guideline. Actually, in places out west, they've been seeing temperatures 10 and 15 degrees below the average. That's insane, especially for out west, and they really need the snow. But we are going to be passing things back to the wall with Nico, and we're going to take a look at some local weather.
Yes, thank you, Spencer and Autumn. As you can see, we have a live look at Doak Campbell Stadium, where we have a nice sunset. It's beautiful weather. We're going to have this weather today and tomorrow, and then the weather starts to change. But tonight it's 80 degrees with sunny skies. Your winds are out of the south at 11 miles an hour. That's where the sea breeze has moved in. It was even warmer earlier today. With temperatures reaching a high of 83, we are above average once again. We've been above average most of the month. We're obviously nowhere near our record low of 25, but we could get close to these record highs as we get warmer into this weekend. Our pollen report, we have high grass pollen and high tree or medium tree pollen. It's not surprising that the pollen levels are very high when we've been so warm for so long. And we've got current temperatures in the area in the low 80s area wide, except along the coast where you're in the 70s where the sea breeze has moved in. We got 80 in Tallahassee. 84 in Quincy is your warmest spot right now. So if you're out there, you might want to dress lightly. And dew points are in the 60s as well. Dew points being in the 60s at this time of the year is well above where they should be. It's very warm and muggy for March. So if you're thinking this weather seems more like May, it is more like what we should be having in May. And obviously, that's going to lead to some showers and storms this weekend too that we'll have to talk about later. But right now, all the showers and storms are out here in Oklahoma. If you have family and friends in Oklahoma, they have a severe thunderstorm watch right now, so you might want to let them know to watch out for damaging winds and hail. But as we take a closer look around Tallahassee, we don't have any precipitation. What we're seeing on the radar right now is a combination of ground clutter and a couple of controlled burns. It looks like we have a controlled burn out in the Apalachicola National Forest here. So if you see a little bit of haze, that's smoke from the fires down to the south blowing near Tallahassee. But as we look at tonight, these little specks on the radar, they're just fog. We're not going to see anything in the way of rain tonight, but we are going to see potentially some dense fog tonight, so definitely pay attention to that if you're going to be driving tonight. That fog clears out tomorrow, and then we have a sunny day again with temperatures soaring even warmer than they were today. Tonight, though, we're going to get down to around 59 degrees. It's going to be around 60 area-wide, give or take a couple degrees, upper 50s inland, lower 60s along the coast where you do have the warm ocean breeze keeping you a little bit warmer overnight. But if you're going to take your dogs out for a walk tomorrow, probably the best time to do it, in my opinion, would be early when it's in the 60s. I'm not a morning person, but these types of temperatures are nicer than when you start to get warm with the sun on you and you go out and you sweat. Tomorrow we're expected to reach 84 degrees. It's going to be one of the warmest days of the year so far, so be prepared for that for sure. And as we take a look at your week ahead, we got one nice day, and then we have 4 days of storms, and we could be having the potential for strong to severe storms during this time frame, so definitely keep your eye on that. We do clear out as we head towards the end of the week, though. Now I'm going to pass things off to Juanique.
Thank you for that, Nico. Yeah, it's been a warm day in Tallahassee and across Florida. It's another warm day in the Sunshine State. Now that will change as the days progress. We will see those showers and storms that our friends to the Midwest are seeing. But right now, crystal clear skies in Gainesville and Orlando. It's a little cloudier in Miami with temperatures in the upper 70s, temperatures in the upper 70s in Daytona Beach as well. So we are feeling like May, as Nico mentioned. We are well above average right now, and those temperatures are feeling like those summertime temperatures. Now we know in Florida it can get quite hot, so I don't know, it seems like it's going to be another warm summer. But right now on our satellite and radar, as Nico mentioned, we have that activity happening right now in our Midwest. So those showers and storms will start to trek eastward and affect us on Saturday, but right now pretty clear across Florida. You can see we have some sprinkles right now off of the coast due to that sea breeze, but as you move northward, we can see that the same case will remain with a few sprinkles because of that sea breeze. So nothing in way of the precipitation that we will see this weekend, and we can expect that precipitation to really kick up once that cold front reaches us on Saturday. Now, current conditions across Florida, lower 80s, upper 70s, 82 in Orlando, 81 in Tampa, 78 in West Palm Beach. Now, we did not see West Palm Beach really have much cloud cover on that satellite and radar, but they're a little stormy, and they will be a little stormy again on Saturday. Now, with this drought monitor, we can see that it's quite dry across the state of Florida. Now, it's not as dry as it could be. You can see right now in Miami, it's relatively dry with that severe drought possibly in place. So they will get that well-deserved rain over the weekend. And as the days progress on Saturday, as I mentioned, that cloud cover will increase. That southerly flow will affect that moisture into the atmosphere, and we will see a different story as the weather progresses this weekend. Now, we can see right here this line of showers and storms by Sunday will reach Pensacola. So if you have any weekend plans, if you were headed that way, keep in mind that that rainfall will increase as the days progress. On Sunday, Tallahassee could see about 1/4 of an inch of rain. Pensacola, you can see almost 0.5 inches of rain. So keep that in mind as you're making those plans this weekend. Now, Florida, as I mentioned, we are seeing sunny conditions for the days ahead until about Sunday. On Sunday, we will see temperatures in the lower 80s in Miami, and as we progress northward towards Tampa, those rain chances will slightly increase on Saturday to a 20% chance of rain, but temperatures will remain in the upper 80s as well. Now, Orlando is a different story. We are seeing temperatures already in the lower 90s, feeling like May and March right now. In Jacksonville, temperatures will be in the upper 80s as well. And as we head towards Pensacola, they are seeing the effects of that southerly flow off of the coast with temperatures in the 70s. But now I'm going to hand it off to Autumn. What's it looking like in the southeast, Autumn?
And it is a beautiful, beautiful day here today in Tallahassee, as I'm sure we've all seen. But as for in the other states nearby, it is also a beautiful, beautiful day. You'll see in a second the skies are bright, sunny, and blue, which is in contrast to the rain that we've been seeing in these past few weeks. Now, it is a bit warmer here in the more southern states, and then it gets a bit cooler as we travel farther up north to North Carolina. And then as we travel up north even more, it will continue to get cool. And then as for down south, it is going to be a bit warm here, and we'll see that in a second. And it's pretty sunny, but we're definitely going to see this rain change a little bit and this weather change as we progress. So our storm outlook, it's looking like in the more central areas of Texas, we're reflecting this band of rain that we're going to see traveling through Texas. And this is actually going to stretch all the way to New York. So this band of rain that we're seeing is going to reflect in the next few graphics that we're going to see today as we continue to talk about the southeast. And this hail might come through as well. Pretty unlikely, 15% chance. And then we're seeing this hail travel through that same band that I was referring to that's going all the way from Texas to New York. We're still seeing that reflect. And then these thunderstorms, we're on a thunderstorm watch for this same area up until 11 o'clock tonight. And then we should see these storms pass through that area as it sees. And then also, as for our storm outlook tomorrow, we're seeing that the likelihood of thunderstorms are less likely on the outside, and then as we come closer in towards Arkansas, that risk of thunderstorms does increase a little bit. And then we're seeing that same band that I've been referring to of rain that is going to continue traveling from Texas up to New York, and this is going to continue until sometime tomorrow night. We're seeing that also continue into tomorrow morning. It's definitely going to continue traveling a bit more northeast, but we're still going to see our neighbors to the north see that rain a little bit as we continue throughout the rest of our night and our morning. And that rainfall forecast, as for us in Florida, it's not going to hit us too bad until probably Sunday. We're definitely going to see that rain. We're seeing that kind of ricochet downward, and we might see that in our neck of the woods. And usually in Florida, we're the ones that get the most rain, but we're definitely seeing that rain miss us a little bit, thankfully, but we will feel it a bit, and that could help cool us down because it's definitely been warmer than normal. As for tonight, though, the temperature is going to drop down to 59 degrees. And over here in the area of New Orleans and Cameron County along the coast of Louisiana, they're feeling those humid and warmer temperatures, which is surprising because as for Florida, it's usually much hotter here. And as for tomorrow, we're definitely going to see it get a little warmer, reaching 84, which is a bit warmer than what we're used to here in Florida at this time of year. Definitely, it's surpassing our national average for right now. But as for the rest of that, Spencer, how is it looking in Texas?
Well, thanks, Autumn. Right now in Texas and Oklahoma, unfortunately, it's not looking too great. So, well, actually right now in Kappa, Oklahoma, as well as Austin, Texas, and Denton, Texas, and Dallas, Texas, all of these places are seeing relatively not too bad weather, but unfortunately, as we make our way closer to Oklahoma, we are seeing some increased weather, severe weather, I should say. So here you can see the Storm Prediction Centers, essentially what chance or probability they give for having severe weather in a given area. So this yellow area here is what we call a slight risk. This is a level 2 out of 5. And this area, particularly here, as we'll see in a moment, is where we're seeing most of the severe weather. So what this is showing is the probability for hail. Similar to the graphic before, you can see this yellow area is about a 15% chance of severe hail. And this hatched area is where you see these black lines. This is saying areas of probability of hail greater than 2 inches. So that's what this hatched area means. That's just hail that's particularly severe. Now, all this yellow shading that you can see, these are active severe thunderstorm watches. So what this means is that we have the ingredients for severe weather possibly, or severe thunderstorms possibly going on in these areas. We just need to be watching out. It's not quite a warning yet. We just need to watch out. Now here you can see some more of those storms, or at least the radar. You can see those big, almost like these supercell storms and some lightning here. As well, you can see we do have some active severe thunderstorm warnings. So those of you who are in these warnings, you should be taking shelter. There may or may not be a tornado. We cannot really confirm that right now. However, these areas you should be taking shelter, making sure that if you are under these storms, you are taking shelter and you are keeping yourself, your family, and your pets safe. So what kind of flood potentials can we look at? Well, this area here around the borders between Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri, this is where we have the what we call a moderate chance, or a level 3 out of 4 for the potential for the most flooding. And you can also see here, similarly, we have some aerial flood watches in an area extending all the way from here in Oklahoma through parts of West Virginia and even Pennsylvania. So these areas are under a watch for some flooding. And we're going to take a quick look at what we can expect these storms, the squall line at least, to take in the next few days. So you can see as we go in time, we can see this cold front will begin to move, and we see this line of storms moving its way east toward the Atlantic Ocean. And as well, you can see here, these areas are going to be the most chance, so particularly here along the border with Arkansas and Oklahoma, and as well out in the Midwest near Kentucky. These areas are where we're going to see the highest chance for severe weather. And we're going to be passing things off to Wanique with a look at some other weather we have going on in the south.
Thank you for that, Spencer. Yeah, so we have that severe weather risk happening right now in the Midwest. And right now we are seeing clear skies and beautiful conditions in the Big Bend, but that will change once that cold front starts to set in. Now, the Midwest is going to see the effects of that cold front pretty soon, but we are going to really talk about that in the next couple of slides. So right now, as I mentioned, we have that severe weather threat in the Midwest, and right now with that severe weather threat, we can see that we have different levels of intensity that can happen. So right now we have that non-severe risk around this perimeter right here, and right now that looks like the target bullseye with that enhanced and moderate risk smack dab in the middle of the Midwest over Louisiana and Mississippi. Now with these risks comes the risk of tornadoes, large hail, high winds, and flooding. So as Spencer mentioned, if you see that tornado warning happen, keep an eye on your local forecast. Take shelter in the most interior room of your home and take those warnings seriously, because once those warnings happen, you want to make sure that you are secure in place and in a place that provides plenty of shelter. Now, the surface low is hovering right now over the Midwest. As I mentioned, we have this cold front draping towards Dallas, Texas, and that warm front draping towards Memphis. So you can see there's a stark contrast in these dew points and this moisture level with a large moisture gradient ahead of this front, and it's quite dry behind that. But these surface winds are going to bring moisture and increase instability from the south. So we have those southwesterly winds right now across the Big Bend in South Georgia, and those upper level winds are going to create that vertical shear, which could increase that severe risk potential across the Midwest and towards Florida as the days progress. So this leads to an elevated risk of tornado and wind threats, as I mentioned, tomorrow. In the middle, where we have this high risk of severe weather, you can see the possibility for some damaging tornadoes. So as I mentioned, be sure to take shelter, because once that tornado threat starts to track eastward, you want to make sure you are sheltered in place. And with these tornadoes, it comes the risk of high winds as well. So with these severe thunderstorms and these severe high winds that we could see, this could also potentially, hinder any plans that you have. So if you are planning on traveling this weekend, be sure to keep that in mind, that we will have these storms trekking eastward, and over Nashville, you can see that they could see some moderate to heavy rainfall as the days progress. Now tomorrow, that severe flood potential for the area will primarily be focused over Little Rock all the way from Arkansas to Cincinnati, Ohio. So if you see floods, turn around and don't drown. Make sure that you are not driving in these flood waters, and keep safe over the next couple of days. And that rainfall, be sure to keep in mind that this could increase as well. But now I'm going to pass it over and take it to Autumn and Nico, and they're going to talk about some severe weather safety.
Yes, thank you, Wanique. We do have a major severe weather system about to come through the southeast. It is late March and we're getting into severe weather season, so what better time to talk about severe weather safety?
Exactly. As you've seen from the rest of our show previously in the past few minutes, we definitely are seeing a risk of thunderstorms and some other things going on. And it's approaching the end of March. We're in the end of March, so we'll definitely be seeing an increased risk for tornadoes. So it's definitely good to discuss how you could stay safe during these storms.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing to discuss at this time of the year. Especially like tomorrow night, you need to be paying attention, because there could be nocturnal tornadoes. So it would be a good idea for you to also keep your phones on, in addition to the other stuff we have on this list, because we do have that nocturnal threat of severe weather. But you always want to wear a helmet and cover your heads if you have a tornado warning in the area, so that way if you do get hit, you can be safe and protect your head. You want to have battery powered radio and flashlights, because you will probably lose power if there's a tornado in the area. And you also always want to go to the lowest level of your home in an interior room with no windows That way you can be the most protected as possible from tornado and cover yourself with blankets and mattresses.
Exactly, and they say that the best area to be in your home that has no windows and access to the outside is most likely your bathroom, specifically in your bathtub. If you do know that a tornado is rolling through and you need to tuck down and hide out like a little hot pocket, definitely stay in your bathtub without the water, of course. Keep you and your pets in there, maybe toss a blanket over you or maybe even a mattress, as Nico said. This can help add an extra layer of protection in case things come crashing in. Hopefully not, though.
Yeah, that's definitely true because the bathtub is the most anchored place in the house, and if you have the walls crashing in on top of you but you have the mattress, you might, if you get lucky and you have an air pocket, that's your best chance of surviving a strong tornado.
Yeah.
So now
And
I'm going to
please
pass.
stay safe.
And now we're going to pass things off to the wall with Spencer to look at snow in the west.
Thanks, Nico and Autumn. So as Autumn and I had mentioned, there's actually quite a bit of snowfall that's been happening out west, particularly in the Cascadia region. So around places like Oregon and Washington, particularly here along the coast of Oregon, excuse me, not the coast, more of the interior parts that are hugging along the mountains. You can see we have several winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories a bit further out. Now this is because we've had a continuous, almost like a stream of just energy and moisture just coming in from the Pacific. You can see it's just moving its way, all this moisture, into places such as Oregon. Now what happens is once this snow gets to the mountains, essentially, as we'll see in a few slides, that's all that snow is going to have to basically, all that water is going to have to fall out of the air in the form of snow. But here you can see more of a radar look of what really is happening. You can see it's all this rain that's coming onshore, and then once it gets to the mountains, that air is forced upward, and of course it's much colder with elevation in the atmosphere, so that's why that water is going to start to turn to snow on the windward side of the mountain. So here's what it looks like in the coming days. You can see just more and more bands of rain and moisture making their way into the state of Oregon, and then that is going to turn to snow as it hugs those mountains. So just taking a deeper look, you can see really just that snow piling up along the mountains as that moisture keeps making its way inland. So you can see places, particularly right here in the mountains, you can see some areas such as Diamond Lake are going to be getting over 30 inches of snow. This is almost 3 feet of snow. This is basically up to here, guys. This is a heck of a lot of snow. You do not want to be out in these areas. So here you can see it's actually pretty cool, guys, not going to lie. You can actually see the elevation of these mountains. So I'll step off for a sec so you guys can get a better look of the areas which essentially, as you go higher in elevation, for instance here, you can see it's kind of a taller peaks. That's where we're going to have the most snow fall out of the atmosphere. And so basically, we have, as the moisture and the rain comes this way up along the mountains, it gets colder with the atmosphere and with altitude in the atmosphere. So what that leads to is snow continuously falling out because the atmosphere can just not hold that much moisture. So we're going to pass things off to Nico with a quick look at what's going on around town.
Thank you, Spencer. Yeah, it would be pretty cool to actually be out there with the snow. I've never seen that much snow at once. I've always wanted to. But as we take a look around the area, we do have sunny skies all around the area. If you're at Sportsplex playing some sports tonight, or if you're at the FSU Res, if you're on Panama City Beach or at the beach in St. George Island, we've got sunny skies area-wide right now. But if you're going to be going out tonight in College Town, as we do get late tonight, temperatures will cool off, not to cold temperatures though. It will cool off to about 62 by midnight and 60 by 2 a.m. Those are nice temperatures. It's a nice night to be out and about and to go for a walk. And if you're going to go out and do stuff in your backyard, tomorrow might be a good day to get in the pool like this graphic suggests. It's going to be 84 degrees. It's very warm for this time of the year, and the wind is going to be out of the south, so we're going to get that Gulf Coast sea breeze coming in, which is just going to make it more humid as we do go into tomorrow. If you're going to be out on the beach tomorrow, we're going to be in the low 70s. Because we are right on the coast, it's a sea breeze. The water temp is at 68. This is at Panama City Beach. If you're going out there, it's still going to be chilly water, but it's definitely not as cold as it could be at this time of the year. But one thing to watch out for is we have a high rip current risk. So always stay safe when you're swimming because you don't want to get swept out to sea. And then as you do look at, this is your rip current statement where you do have the high rip current risk. So anywhere from St. George Island all the way out west through Pensacola, you have a high risk of rip currents in the Gulf this weekend. So definitely be well aware of that. But if you're going to go to our softball game. It's an away series at Duke in Durham. Even North Carolina, we're 87 degrees on Friday. That tells you how warm it is as we do go into the southeast. The southeast is very warm, above average. Like right now, we shouldn't be this warm. There will be some showers and storms on Saturday. We have an away series at Virginia with our baseball team. The one game that I could be concerned about is the one on Saturday for potentially getting rained out, but luckily Sunday looks really nice, so if they do have to reschedule that, a doubleheader on Sunday would look pretty good, and hopefully we can beat UVA. And we do have, our producer being a Yankees fan, we do have the forecast for the Yankees game next Thursday, their opener against the Giants. It's going to be 50 degrees in New York, which is pretty warm for March with sunny skies. So if you're going to be going up there for that game, it'll be nice. But if you're going out and about around Tallahassee this weekend, we do have storms expected on both Saturday and Sunday. And now I'm going to pass things off to Autumn.
And it is definitely a lovely, lovely, lovely evening here in Tallahassee. Say goodbye to the sun, because this may or may not be the last time that you're seeing it for the next few days, as we'll see some rain coming through, as we'll get into in a moment. But what a beautiful sunshine, not a cloud in the sky. Isn't that wild? And then it is, as we see, very sunny, 80 degrees, so it's starting to cool down a little bit as our day progresses. Definitely normal, warmer than usual, with some slight winds coming in from the south at 11 miles an hour. And then those current temperatures are going to continue staying around the 80s up until tonight, most likely. So it's 80 here in Tallahassee, a little bit colder in Apalachicola Bay and along the coastline. It's a little bit cooler as we see that sea to land breeze, but as we get central in, is a bit warmer. And then on your radar, you're most likely not seeing rain. What you're seeing is a bit of interference, probably from the fires that are going on, as Juanique said. And then as for our future radar, we may see a few little splotches of scattered showers coming in as that band of rain passes through from Texas to New York. As I talked about earlier, we may feel that a little bit down here in Tallahassee, but not as likely. Absolutely. And then as for tonight in Tallahassee, it's 57 degrees. It's pretty clear. Wind is calm, and we shouldn't see too much crazy things going on tonight. No rain. This may change as we work through our weekend. Tomorrow it'll be pretty warm. And then as you can see, as we progress through our week, the days that it's a bit more rainy, we're seeing those temperatures get a bit warmer for the highs and lows. And then it should cool down a bit by this time next week after that rain passes through. Juanique and Spencer, how's it looking on the desk?
You know, it's been an interesting first week of spring, Spencer. We've had a warm week here in the Big Bend, but we started quite chilly, and the West Coast is also seeing chilly temperatures now.
Yeah, so I know Autumn and I alluded to it earlier, but some places are actually seeing temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees less than the 30-year average. That's pretty incredible to see. I mean, typically you look at like a 3 to 4 degree difference from the average. That's pretty significant in many places. So to see numbers 5 times that, that's pretty incredible, Juanique.
Indeed, and to see temperatures change starkly from Monday, you know, well below average to now we are well above average. It seems like spring is off to a roller coaster of emotions. I'm not sure what's going on, you know, with Mother Nature, but I think she needs to get it together, Spencer.
I mean, I think she needs a spring break of her own.
She does. But remember that FSU weather is actually moving to YouTube only, so we will be streaming to YouTube only starting April 1st. So if you're watching us on YouTube right now, thank you so much for watching. You can continue to watch us, but we will no longer be on WFSU starting April 1st. But also be sure to follow us on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching FSU Weather. Also like us on Facebook at FSU Weather. Also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. And also follow our TikTok.
Yeah, so we hope you guys had a great great evening so far. And we are going to pass things off to Nico with a closing look at our show.
Yes, definitely. As you can see, we do have warm conditions, but you got to watch out for some showers and storms for the next 4 days from Saturday to Tuesday. So definitely be well aware of this if you are going to be making plans to be outdoors between Saturday and Tuesday. If you're going to be out and about on Wednesday and Thursday, these are your nice days to be outside for sure. And definitely maybe reschedule some outdoor stuff that you have on these stormy days for Wednesday and Thursday. Have a great night, everybody.